Hello, my name is Brooke. I'm going to be showing you how to get the OC Allstars Smoky Eye using the Rebel palette. And I hope you enjoy. So I am first starting by taking the tape and putting it on the back of my hand so I get rid of some of the tackiness, and then I am just applying it to my eye, making sure that it's kind of right underneath my lower lash line going to the tip of my eyebrow. So I'm just going to do that to both eyes. Once I have gotten the tape to be even, I'm going to start by priming my eyelids with some concealer. This is just Tarte Shape Tape. And then I'm going to take a damp sponge. This is a Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to start by blending that all over the eye, making sure that I'm getting rid of any redness or any veins that you could see on my eyelid. After everything is all blended, now I'm going to take a pretty fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this white shade in the Rebel palette, and I'm just going to pick that up on my brush and put that all over the eyelid, making sure to set the whole base that we have just put down so that there's no tackiness and that our shadows can blend nice and seamlessly. Now I'm just going in with a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go into that contour shade, which is the brown shade in the palette, and I'm going to start by buffing that into my crease and blending that all over the lid. This does not need to be clean. It can be pretty messy because this is just a transition shade for all the other colors to go on top of. Once you have built up the crease as much as you like, you can go in with a smaller eyeshadow brush that is a little bit more dense and go into that silver shade. And I'm just going to start taking that into my crease a little bit lower and trying to focus the color more on the outer corner, and then slowly building that up into the crease, not really taking it all the way to my inner corner because we want to keep the darker eyeshadow on the outer V of our eye. Once I think that color is blended and nice and seamless, I'm going to take an angled brush and I'm going to dip that brush into the black in this palette. Once I have saturated the brush, I'm going to tap off the excess and then start by stamping that black on the outer portion of my eye right along the tape. And then I'll slowly start dragging that towards the middle of my eye, very lightly, not putting a lot of pressure on the brush. I take my black just a little bit higher than my crease because I have slightly hooded eyes, so this makes it to where you can actually see the color just a little bit more. So I'll just keep buffing and blending until I get my desired result. I always start off with a little bit of product and then start building more and more, because I'd rather start off with a little bit than start off with a lot and have a hard time blending. So always keep that in mind. Now I'm taking a flat fluffy brush into that white shade and I'm just tapping that all over the inner corner to the middle of the lid. Now I'm going in with a small dome brush and I'm going to put that gold shade all over my inner corner and also right underneath the arch of my brow bone. Here I am just cleaning up with a makeup wipe any fallout that I might have had, or just cleaning up the edges of the eyeshadow, making sure that everything is nice and sharp and clean. Here I'm just taking my NYX Photo Loving Skin Primer and I'm just pressing that into the skin and also rubbing that into my T-zone. Anywhere where I have kind of a lot of pores or seem to get more oily, this will help control all of that. Now I'm just going in with my Milani Conceal and Perfect in 06 Sand Beige. This is my fake tan or spray tan color, so this is going to be just quite a bit darker than my actual skin tones. Just keep that in mind. So I'm just taking that foundation on a damp sponge again and just stamping that all over the skin, really pushing that into the skin, and also going up to my ears to make sure that my whole face looks like one solid color. I will also take it down my neck as well to make sure that we don't have any harsh lines. Once that is blended, I'm going back in with that Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and just dotting that underneath the eyes, on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, and on my chin to highlight certain areas where I want the light to catch my face. Taking the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, I am going to tap some of that into the lid and then take my sponge again and start underneath the eyes and then work that powder over the rest of my face. With whatever excess I have left over in the lid, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and buff that all over the rest of my face, making sure that everything is nice and mattified. Now I'm going to go into the face powders in this palette. You obviously don't need to use these are optional, but I just thought I would show how I use them. So I'm going to take a really big fluffy brush that has a pointy end, and I'm going to go into that contour shade and then just start sculpting out my cheeks, making sure to tap off the excess and then going in and sculpting out the cheeks, starting off a little bit higher than my actual cheekbone, because when I start to blend, it'll start to blend down a little bit. After the skin is nice and bronzed, I'm going to go in with a small, dense blush brush, and I am going to take that pink blush in this palette and just tap my brush into there, get off the excess, and then start at the back of my cheekbones and then start working to the apples of my cheeks, tapping, 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 and then blending and buffing it towards the back of my face. Now I'm just going to be taking a small brush. This actually used to be an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to take that gold highlight shade in the middle, and I'm going to saturate my brush with that, tap off the excess, and then highlight my cheekbones. I am also going to take that onto the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose, and also right on my Cupid's bow. So now I am just going in with that big fluffy crease brush and going into that contour shade and starting to smoke out the lower lash line. Then I'm going in with that smaller crease brush and going into that silver shade and putting that also underneath my lash line. It doesn't need to be super clean. It can be kind of messy because we want it to be nice and smoked out. Then taking a flat brush that is dense, I'm going in with that black shade and keeping it really close to my lash line, and just buffing that in and blending it out. Taking a black eyeliner, I am going to start tight lining my upper lash line and then also lining my lower lash line to get us ready for mascara and lashes. Here I am just lining my upper lash line with a liquid liner and then just following that cat eye that we already made and creating a winged liner. I don't make my winged liners super big just because lashes are going to cover it anyway, but you can go as big or as little as you like with this. Here I am just curling my eyelashes, and then I will be applying a small layer of mascara to my top lashes, and then we will apply our falsies. I use the Faux Mink Lashes by Ardell. They're a little bit long for my eye, so I trim the front of them just a little bit, and then I apply them to my upper lash line. I'm sorry this part was a little bit out of focus. I should have waited just a little bit longer for this lash to dry. As you can see, I got some glue on my eyelid, but that's okay. It dries clear and you can just pick it off really easily once it's dried. Now I'm just going over the lash band with that liquid eyeliner that we already used before, just making sure that you can't really see the lash band and that it looks blended and seamless. Here I am just applying the Rebel Red lipstick to my lips. I would definitely recommend using a lip liner when doing this before applying the lipstick, but I did not have a red lip liner with me, so I just went in freehand. Once I am done with that, I am just going to take my Morphe setting spray and I'm going to spray that all over my face to make sure everything is melted and locked in. Once I am done doing that, I would normally go into my lower lash line and put mascara on my lower lashes, but I forgot. So this is the finished look and I hope you enjoy. Bye.